Jumok lay on the cold, hard floor, her small body trembling as she held her bruised arm. Her stepmother, Mama BISI, stood over her with a cold look in her eyes, barely noticing the tear-stained cheeks of the little girl before her. Mama BISI was always cruel, but this time, it felt like she had gone too far. It hadn't always been like this. When Jumok's father had first brought Mama BISI into their lives, things seemed normal. She smiled a lot back then, and even gave Jumok sweets. Jumok had been only 7, and all she wanted was to make her new mother happy. But the sweetness didn't last. Soon, Mama BISI's smiles turned into scowls, and her gentle touch turned into harsh pushes and angry words. Jumok's father, a bus driver who worked long hours, didn't know. Mama BISI was always careful to hide her actions. She would scold Jumok if she even thought of telling him. "If you tell your father, I will make things worse for you," Mama BISI would hiss. Things started changing when Mama BISI gave birth to her own child, BISI, a chubby baby girl with a laugh that could melt anyone's heart. While Jumok's father was delighted and busied himself with taking care of both Jumok and BISI, Mama BISI made sure Jumok felt unwanted. Every morning, Jumok woke up before dawn to clean the house. She cooked, fetched water, and washed the clothes, even BISI's clothes, which were always soiled with baby food and spit up. Mama BISI only got angrier when Jumok didn't finish in time. "Lazy girl," she'd shout. "Do you think you're here to enjoy? This is my house. You're here because of my kindness." Sometimes, Jumok would get a small chance to play with her friends after school. They would laugh and skip ropes, and for a brief moment, Jumok would forget her troubles. But Mama BISI didn't like her playing. "Are you running away from your work?" she'd ask sharply whenever she caught Jumok in the middle of laughter. She'd drag her home, usually by the ear, and make her scrub the floors again, even if they were already spotless. The worst day came on Jumok's 11th birthday. Jumok had saved her lunch money, little by little, for weeks, and managed to buy herself a small cake from a nearby bakery. She brought it home, carefully hiding it in her school bag, hoping to enjoy it in her room. But when she opened the cake box that evening, Mama BISI's eyes caught sight of it. "You think you deserve cake," she sneered, knocking the cake from Jumok's hands, causing it to splatter across the floor. "Ungrateful girl. Why you waste money on nonsense? I am feeding and clothing you." Jumok wanted to cry, but she held it in, too afraid. That night, as she lay on the mat in her room, she could hear her father laughing and playing with BISI in the next room. The sound hurt. Her father was close, yet he felt so far away. One evening, as her father was coming back from work, he saw Jumok at the well, carrying a large bucket of water almost too heavy for her small frame. She stumbled, nearly dropping it, and he rushed over to help. "Why are you doing this alone, Jumok?" he asked, surprised. He hadn't realized the chores his young daughter was handling on her own. But Jumok didn't answer. She was scared to say anything. Her silence must have shown something, though, because he began to pay more attention. He started to come home earlier, watching how things were done around the house. He noticed Jumok's tired eyes, the bruises on her arms, and how she shied away from her stepmother. Slowly, he began to put the pieces together. One night, Jumok's father sat her down, his voice soft and reassuring. "Jumok, is there something you want to tell me?" "Don't be afraid," he said. And for the first time, Jumok let it all out, the early mornings, the harsh words, the endless chores, the way Mama BISI treated her. Her father listened, his face growing darker with each word. He realized he had been blind, too focused on providing, while his daughter suffered in silence. The next day, Jumok's father confronted Mama BISI. She tried to deny it, of course, but his mind was made up. From that day, he made sure Jumok's life was different. He took over many of the household chores, and little by little, Mama BISI lost her grip over Jumok. Jumok could now go to school freely and play without fear. Her father kept a close eye, making sure that his daughter would never have to suffer again. And as for Mama BISI, her power over Jumok slowly faded. Though she still held resentment in her heart, she knew better than to try anything. Jumok had found her voice, and her father was finally listening.